Good evening, this is Adbn News. The headlines. Nigeria's First Lady empowers 1,000 traders in FCT. FCT Minister applauds President Tinubu for infrastructure growth. 58,187 candidates sit for NCEE examination nationwide. And under Faransin, WHO reports over 500 Ebola cases in DR Congo and Uganda. In sport, Knicks edged Spurs 105-104 to take 2-0 NBA Finals lead. I am Sifon Ode now, the details. The First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, has empowered 1,000 petty traders and persons living with disabilities in Koramajiji community of the Federal Capital Territory with 50,000 naira each to support and expand their small businesses. The intervention is part of the effort to improve livelihoods and promote economic self-reliance among vulnerable groups. The program held in Abuja also included the distribution of vocational and business support equipment such as sewing machines, grinding machines, water pumping machines, hair dryers, power chillers, and tricycle trucks. The First Lady, represented by Hajia Nana Shatima, said the initiative reflects ongoing effort under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to support grassroots communities. Also, the Minister of State for the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, praised the initiative as a practical example of inclusive governance under the renewed Hope agenda, noting that empowering persons with disabilities contributes to long-term economic development and social inclusion. Office of the President of the Senate has dismissed media reports claiming that Senate President Godswill Akpabio promised to secure senatorial tickets for lawmakers who lost their party primaries, describing the report as misleading and inaccurate. In a statement issued on Saturday by a special advisor on media and publicity, Honorable Seme Ibo, the Senate President's office clarified that Senator Akpabio neither made nor authorized any such promise. According to the statement, Akpabio merely expressed sympathy for senators affected by the outcome of their party primaries and assured them that the leadership of the All Progressive Congress APC was working to address issues arising from the exercise. The statement emphasized that the Senate President remains committed to party discipline, due process, and the APC's internal dispute resolution mechanisms, stressing that he would not interfere in the party's autonomous processes or make commitments outside the mandate of the National Assembly leadership. On security matters, the Senate President also clarified his position regarding calls to the Senate to investigate the military over recent security incidents. Away from that, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has commended the leadership of the Bola Tinubu, saying the administration's vision, political will, and commitment to infrastructure developments are driving national transformation. Speaking at the 36th convocation ceremony of University of Port Harcourt on the theme, Leadership and Infrastructure Development in Nigeria, Lessons of Future Leaders, Wike cited ongoing projects across the country as evidence of purposeful leadership. According to Wike, the Tinubu administration has demonstrated the courage to make difficult decisions and mobilize resources to address Nigeria's infrastructure deficit. He highlighted major projects such as the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Road, East-West Road, rail rehabilitation projects, and power sector reforms as key indicators of the government's development agenda.
Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, these initiatives have been infused with renewed urgency, expanded in scope, and more importantly, resituated within a coherent and forward-looking developmental architecture. What might once have existed as fragmented or standalone efforts are now being drawn into a more integrated national vision, one that understands infrastructure not as scattered projects, but as a strategic system of interconnected investment designed to stimulate economic productivity, deepen national integration, and widen the horizons of social inclusion. At the heart of this renewed momentum is leadership disposition, marked by decisiveness and a willingness to confront long-term structural constraints. On assumption of office, President Tinubu took the bold step of removing the fuel subsidy, an action long acknowledged as necessary but repeatedly defied. While the immediate consequences have been complex and in some cases painful, the policy has expanded fiscal space for subnational governments and redirected national resources towards critical sectors.
He also urged Nigerians, the FCT minister also urged Nigerians to support ongoing reforms and stressed that sustained investment in transportation, power, housing, education, healthcare and digital infrastructure remains essential for achieving long-term economic growth and national development.
When we're in government, we'll go to banks, kneel down for them. Please, give me social amount of money. Start collecting social money from my IGI every month. Sometimes we'll go, the manager will follow through the bank door and run away. A whole governor will be waiting in the office of the manager. Today, because of the removal of oil subsidy, subnationals, states are now getting more funds. No state is talking about borrowing again. Have you had any state crying of borrowing? No. No state is talking about zero allocation. No local government is talking about zero allocation. It is because of the courage of a leadership to take a decision everybody has run away from.
To other matters now, the Minister of Works, Senator Adbn, has reaffirmed President Tinubu's commitment to equitable distribution of infrastructure projects across the country, dismissing claims of regional bias and emphasizing that every part of Nigeria deserves equal attention and development. Senator Mai stated this in Gombe State during the official flag-off of the Gombe-Bao Road project, with over 9 kilometers added to the 250-kilometer double-lane road. He also commended the governor's Northern Bypass project, describing it as a demonstration of ingenuity and strategic planning, and assured residents that contractors would be mobilized to site immediately, with construction work expected to commence in earnest within days.
We are here, because you said we should be here. This project has been awarded, and you have a company that is committed, as a partner in the, retaking of our country, rebuilding our country. That's high tech. And so you are going to see equipment you've never seen before. You are going to see quality of road you've never seen before.
To Governor Noah Yahaya, the project is of immense significance not only to Gombe State but also to the northeast, Nigeria and neighboring countries across West and Central Africa that depend on the corridor for trade and economic activities.
The President first, and the Minister and his delegation, including the members of the National Assembly, wholeheartedly and warmly, because they brought, like you said yourself, they brought some good tidings to the people of Gombe State. And these are projects that will touch the lives of the people and that will be everlasting. A concrete road, for example, linking us between Gombe to Biu and eventually connecting through this place that we pass, the Northern Bypass, to Bauchi State and Yobe State, plus Adama.
In education, no fewer than 58,187 candidates sat for the 2026 National Common Entrance Examination conducted by the National Examination Council for admission into federal government colleges across the country. The registrar, Professor Ibrahim Wushishi, disclosed the figure while briefing journalists in Abuja after monitoring the exercise, noting that the figure represents a decline compared to the 64,578 candidates who registered in 2025. He also revealed that female candidates outnumbered males, with over 31,000 girls participating compared to about 26 boys, describing it as a positive sign for girl-child education. Examination, according to officials, was largely hitch-free nationwide, with candidates orderly and supervision adequately provided across centers. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, have expressed concern for over absentee candidates recorded in some locations of the 2026 National Common Entrance Examination, while calling for further investigation into the issue. Professor Ahmed said these while monitoring the exercise at selected centers as part of effort to ensure compliance with examination standards. Education correspondent Jesse Morris tells us more.
Pencils in hand and answer sheets before them, thousands of pupils across Nigeria on Saturday took an important step towards the next phase of their education, the National Common Entrance Examination, the pathway into the country's federal unity colleges. Moving from one examination center to another, the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, monitored the conduct of the exercise in Abuja.
I have looked at the registration documents of the students. I can see that they actually abide by the guidelines in terms of the ages for the examination between 10 to 12 years. So I'm happy with that. And also the venues are well orderly arranged with proper invigilators. The number of invigilators are adequate. So I'm happy generally with the conduct of the examination.
The scale of the exercise reflects the continued demand for places in Nigeria's federal unity colleges. This year, 58,187 candidates registered for the examination, with girls making up the largest share of participants. The exercise also drew candidates from neighboring countries, including 23 from Togo and 131 from Benin Republic.
This is an indication of the efforts of the ministry as far as promoting girl child education is concerned. It shows that we are achieving results in that direction. The school we visited is hitch-free, and that is our expectation all over the country.
The arrangement is good. I hope it will be sustained. That's what I will say. But we have observed that there are a number of students that are absent in the exams. In one of the hall, we have about 18 students that are absent. So we'll look at the factors resulting in that number, because it's quite a high number.
While the officials focus on maintaining the integrity of the examination process, the candidates have a different concern: the results. For many, success in the National Common Entrance Examination represents an opportunity to take the next step in their academic journey. Jesse Morris, Adbn News.
Thank you very much, Jesse. Well, to discuss briefly on the just concluded National Common Entrance Examination and the perceived decline, according to the Minister of State for Education, Professor Ahmed, we're joined by a public affairs analyst and social commentator, Twekon Franklin Song. He joins us live from Uyo. Good evening, Twekon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you. Twekon, well, what factors could be responsible for the decline in candidates from 64,000 in 2025 then to more than 58,000 in 2026, and what's the implication of this?
I think I will look at the insecurity in some part of the country where some schools are not in session. You have the kidnap or abduction of school people, school children being at rampage now, and so many parents may have chosen to withhold or keep their kids at home. So this could be part of the reason why you have the decline in the common entrance exam that just took place today. And this, for me, is a serious concern for our country. Insecurity has become a very serious concern that, if you go to some part of this country, the parents will rather prefer their children to be at home and be under their watch than being taken to schools. Schools are now targets. The teachers, the pupils are now targets, and they are soft targets. So this, for me, could contribute largely to the decline of the just concluded common entrance exam.
Aside from insecurity, what else do you think would have contributed to this decline? Could it be with the standard of education in terms of when it comes to unity schools, and we're having establishments of more private schools in the country?
Again, another issue that if we want to further look at would be issue of access to the internet. The registrations are done online, and then you have poor internet connectivity. You also have issues of lack of lack of mobility to take these pupils to where the exams are actually going to be taking place. And so this could be another issue that could affect the registration process, and then poor information or poor communication or poor awareness are not being given to parents in the rural areas. They may not be aware. They may not actually be able to, get their kids prepared for this exam. So they will just say, fine, we just take them to, like you have said, private schools, which will be the next alternative to the government school, to the unity schools. So lack of adequate information, lack of access to the internet, because the online registration is done, you have internet, you have difficulty in connectivity, and then coupled with the issue I mentioned earlier, which is the issue of transportation of these peoples, of, to the locations where the exams could be taking place, and then add with the insecurity in most of these areas. So this could add to the decline that we've gotten in this year's common entrance examination.
Despite decline in the registration, the examination was described as largely hitch-free. What does this say about NECO's operational efficiency and examination integrity?
Well, for the integrity of the exam, from what we've seen, I could say that the integrity of the exam is not in any way, challenged. From the report we've gathered, we've not actually, had issues of question, to question the integrity. On the issue of the absent student, that is where we think that, like the Minister of State has said, should be investigated, because some of these students who are absent could, be impersonated, could have some persons to enter in to cheat on their behalf. But I think that so far we've not had issues of, integrity, questioning the process, questioning, the outcome of it in the past years, and it has always been, in a free contest. All what we are just asking for, we're asking for adequate facilities in unity schools, adequate facilities in public schools, so that our children, our pupils can be able to access enough facilities, to access, to access enough information that they will need, and then be well, trained, and then to have competent teachers in these public schools. That is all we're asking for. But as for the integrity of the exam, I think it has not been in doubt. But I will stand with the minister in the area of investigating the absent students. If actually they were absent, or there are persons who came in and wrote on their behalf.
All right, welcome. Before I let you go, let's look at how government can ensure sustained interest and improve transition into federal government colleges in future years.
The only way government can ensure sustained interest, I have been saying this in our advocacies, is for government officials to send their pupils to government schools. If the government officials, if their children are in public schools, I can bet you that public school will become the sought after. But as it stands, the interest of even government officials in public schools is declined. And so, in as much as their children, their wards are not in public schools, they will not pay much interest in developing and giving us the best of public schools we will need. And that will continue to affect, the standard of education in Nigeria. We hope that there should be a policy that every government official, from the local government level to state level to the federal level, as long as you are a government official, your kids should be in public schools. That by so doing, we will not be able to beef up security in public schools. We will put up infrastructure. We will put up all what is needed, because we know that our children are there. But where we don't put our children there, we take our children to private schools, that are charging higher because of their high level of facilities that they have there, then you will continue to have decline in the interest into unitary school.
Thank you very much, Welcome Franklin Songbe, for speaking with us. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Well, moving on now, 15 persons from across the Niger Delta have been selected to undergo world-class standard professional training in pipeline installation and underwater welding, a human capacity development HCD training program sponsored by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board (NCDMB) in partnership with Heritage Energy Operational Services Limited and Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited held the kickoff ceremony at Warri, Delta State. Our correspondent Edith Paraswa completes the story. Apologies for not being able to bring you that visual. We'll bring it to a subsequent bulletin. The federal government has announced plans to create about 7,000 direct jobs through an estate-based ranching program aimed at empowering youth and women, improving livestock productivity and driving rural economic development. The initiative was made known in a statement by the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development following a strategic engagement led by Minister Idi Maiha. According to the ministry, the estate-based livestock model is designed to involve young people and women in ranch operations and livestock-related enterprises while promoting modern and sustainable production systems. The program is expected to generate jobs across the dairy, red meat, feed, and leather value chains as part of effort to unlock the economic potential of Nigeria's livestock industry. The minister noted that the initiative also includes plans for modern abattoirs in selected state and federal capital territory to improve meat processing and safety standards. All 15 persons from across the Niger Delta have been selected to undergo world-class standard professional training in pipeline installation and underwater welding, a human capacity development training program sponsored by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board (NCDM) in partnership with Heritage Energy Operational Services Limited (HEOSL) and Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited held the kickoff ceremony at Warri, Delta State. Again, correspondent Edith Baraswa completes the story.
The underwater welding and subsea pipeline installation sector in Nigeria is a critical high-value component of the oil and gas industry. Despite massive offshore infrastructure in the Niger Delta, the industry grapples with a shortage of certified indigenous personnel, regulatory hurdles, and aging infrastructure that requires frequent subsea repair. These gaps in the industry have necessitated the NCDMB to sponsor regular training stipulated in the NOGIC Act 2010 and in achievement of the NCDMB 10-year strategic roadmap. The Executive Secretary NCDMB, represented by the General Manager HCD Mrs. Alexis Emele, declared the ceremony open. The GM reiterated the importance of the training to the energy industry while urging participants to utilize the opportunity presented before them.
Delivered in partnership with Heritage Energy Operational Services Limited reflects that commitment. Underwater welding and commercial diving are functional to the survival, profitability, and safety of the Nigerian oil and gas industry. Because Nigerians for petroleum wealth heavily relies on offshore exploration in the Gulf of Guinea and the shallow waters of the Niger Delta, specialized diving operations are non-negotiable for extracting and transporting crude oil. Use this training as a launchpad to become not just employees, but innovators, problem solvers, and champions of excellence, Nigerian excellence. The NCDMB is counting on you.
I encourage every one of you to be fully engaged, ask questions, share experiences, and collaborate. The strength of this training lies not only in the material being presented, but also in the insights each of you brings to the table.
Stakeholders and training coordinators, while commending the board, described in details the entire 12-month training process.
We are going to do a 3 months foundational program in PTI. During these 3 months, they are going to do the basics of swimming. They are going to do diving. They are going to start their practicals from our PTI swimming pool. And we are going to take them to Abraka for shallow diving before we take them to the sea in Butu. When they come back from Butu, they are going to learn welding. And they are also going to do underwater sporting in our dive tank that's about 12 to 15 meters deep in PTI. At the end of the day, we will prepare them for the international training that will be done in South Africa.
For the trainees, to develop their skills and also to utilize the skills what we have taught in the oil and gas industry where they have shortfall. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the management of SFA, Heritage Energy, PNF, and Jomarine and PCI who are in collaboration to ensure that this training are being conducted.
This training is very much good because it will expose the youth to more developing, to more developing. And also it will broaden the capacity and also create employment for the youth in Niger Delta area.
The trainees expressed delight and appreciation to the board and its partners as it pledged to remain focused throughout the training period. Edith Barswa, Adbn News.
Away from that, the Minister of Steel Development, Shaibu Aldu, has performed the groundbreaking ceremony for a 20-megawatt mini-grid power project in Egume, Dekina local government area of Kogi State. The project, described as the largest mini-grid power project in north-central Nigeria, is part of the federal government's effort to expand access to electricity and drive development in the region. Speaking at the event, Aldu said the project, alongside newly commissioned 700 kilowatt and 400 kilowatt mini-grids in Olama, Buru and Dekina local government areas, forms part of the Light Up Kogi initiative. He noted that the project, valued at over $100 million, are designed to improve electricity supply, stimulate economic growth, enhance security, and improve living standards across Kogi East. The minister added that the federal government, through the Rural Electrification Agency and in collaboration with the World Bank, has secured funding for more than 40 mini-grid electrification projects across Igala land. The federal government debt repayment exceeded the 2025 amended budget allocation by 1.90 trillion naira in the first 9 months of the year, and this is according to the Budget Office of the Federation. And total debt-related payment rose to 12.63 trillion naira between January and September, against a prorated budget of 10.74 trillion naira. Debt servicing was the main driver of the increase, reaching 12.52 trillion naira, with both domestic and foreign obligations surpassing their respective allocations. Domestic debt service stood at 6.23 trillion naira, while foreign debt service rose to 6.30 trillion naira, both significantly above budgeted projections. The report further showed that debt servicing consumed about 67.8% of the federal government's retained revenue during the period, leaving limited fiscal space for other expenditures. Still on business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria has introduced stricter sanctions for foreign exchange violations, including a 100 million naira penalty for banks that process forex transactions without adequate documentation. The updated regulations, released in May 2026, are aimed at strengthening compliance, improving transparency, and enhancing oversight of Nigeria's foreign exchange market. The manual outlines stricter reporting requirements, mandating banks to submit daily and monthly foreign exchange transaction returns within specified deadlines. Banks found reallocating foreign exchange funds without regulatory approval could face hefty fines, suspension of the authorized dealer licenses, or outright license revocation. Public sector pension contributions rose sharply by 234.85% to 550.96 billion naira in the fourth quarter of 2025, reflecting improved compliance with Nigeria's contributory pension scheme. According to the National Pension Commission (PENCOM), total pension contributions for the period reached 903.7 billion naira. The surge in public sector remittances was largely driven by pension adjustment and the settlement of outstanding obligations by government institutions, while private sector contributions recorded modest growth. The industry also saw continued asset expansion, with net pension assets increasing to 27.45 trillion naira, supported by equity gains and steady inflows. PENCOM further reported increased compliance enforcement, recovering funds from defaulting employers and processing accrued rights payments to retirees. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has stated that about 45% of smartphones are made from petroleum-derived materials. According to the group, key components such as cell phone towers, circuit boards, display screens, and polycarbonate casings all rely heavily on petroleum-based inputs. OPEC explained that petroleum derivatives play a significant role in modern electronics manufacturing, contributing to the production of durable and functional materials used in smartphones and related communication infrastructure. It further argued that oil and its derivatives remain essential to global connectivity and the digital economy, noting that petroleum products continue to support technologies that power communication systems and keep the world connected. You're watching Adbn News at 7. Stay with us for more stories. After this break, please don't go away.
Abuja is rising. The Federal Capital Territory is moving forward with purpose, progress, and renewed hope. Join the Federal Capital Territory Administration as we celebrate the commissioning of 27 landmark projects and the flag-off of 3 new ones under the visionary leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, by the Honorable Minister of the FCT, His Excellency Barrister Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike, CON, and Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, in commemoration of the 3rd anniversary of the administration of Mr. President, champion of the renewed hope agenda, and the commemoration of 50 years of the Federal Capital Territory. From June 9th to the 20th of 2026, witness the commissioning of completed transformative projects designed to strengthen infrastructure and democratic institutions, improve livelihoods, and modernize Nigeria's capital city. Projects and landmark events include over 20 major roads, interchanges, and bridges covering more than 100 kilometers across the FCT, expanded water supply to satellite towns, the magnificent Court of Appeal Complex Abuja Division, new staff quarters of the Nigerian Law School Wari, ultra-modern office annex for the body of benchers, modern judges' quarters, remodeled Abuja City Gate, launch of the sales office and experience center of the Abuja City Work Development, and the unveiling of Abuja at 50 Compendium, celebrating the history, growth, achievements, and future vision of Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, and many more impactful people-oriented projects aimed at improving mobility, housing, justice delivery, public service, and the overall quality of life for residents. This is progress you can see. This is development you can feel. This is the renewed hope agenda in action. Come and be part of history as the President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, redefines development in the FCT. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, building infrastructure, preserving history, empowering communities, transforming lives.
Welcome back, and now to the rest of the news. Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on Nigerians to fervently pray for peace and stability across the country, assuring that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration remains committed to restoring lasting peace. Shettima made the appeal on Friday in Abuja shortly after a special Jumat prayer held at the National Mosque as part of activities marking this year's Democracy Day celebrations. He reiterated the federal government's commitment to secure the safe return of children and other citizens currently held by bandits and terrorist groups, noting that ongoing security efforts are yielding progress. The Vice President also paid tribute to past heroes who he said laid down their lives to safeguard Nigeria's democracy, stressing the importance of unity and national sacrifice in preserving the country's democratic gains.
Our message to Nigerians is simple. Let's pray for the peace and stability of this nation and to acknowledge the sacrifices made by our past heroes for the enthronement of this democracy that we are all enjoying now. And let's pray for the peace, stability, and progress of this great nation. And I want to assure Nigerians of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's unwavering commitment towards restoring peace and stability in the nation. He is working day and night to ensure the safe recovery of all our children who are in the hands of the bandits and the terrorists. No matter how long the night is, it must give way to the light of the dawn. Stormy the weather might well be, but it will rain forever. The government remains irrevocably committed to restoring peace and stability of the nation. Thank you. I want to thank Nigeria and want to urge them to pray for the nation, to pray for each other, because what binds us together surpasses whatever that divides us.
Security, the Nigeria Customs Service has said stronger international partnerships are critical to improving border security, trade facilitation, and economic competitiveness. The Controller General of Customs, Adbn, started this during a diplomatic mission with ambassadors, high commissioners, heads of mission, and senior government officials in attendance. Adbn said the gathering seeks to discuss areas of cooperation while noting that modern customs administration requires close collaboration among custom authorities, diplomatic missions, and security agencies to address emerging challenges in global trade and border management. The Customs Board noted that the NCS has expanded its international engagement through structured collaboration frameworks with more than 20 custom administrations worldwide.
Ensure that clearance of your goods in the ports, those that relate to projects that you're handling in Nigeria, those that relate to things belonging to officials working in your embassies are given speedy documentation. And as we speak, we have that kind of collaboration with about 20 countries and still counting.
The Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC has recorded a 27% reduction in road traffic crashes and 22% decrease in crash victims during the 2026 Eid al-Kabir celebrations compared to 2025. According to the Corps Public Education Officer Osando Ahairi, crashes dropped from 191 in 2025 to 142 in 2026, while the number of people involved also fell from 1,364 to 1,064. He added that injuries reduced by 25.4% from 576 to 430 within the same period. The FRC attributed a positive outcome to intensified public awareness campaigns, improved traffic management strategies, and strategic deployment of personnel across key routes. Following recent bandit attacks in parts of the state, Kebbi State Governor Nassir Idris has convened an emergency security meeting in Benin and Kebbi to strengthen the state's security framework and address emerging threats. The meeting focused on improving coordination among security agencies and developing lasting solutions to insecurity. Governor Idris expressed concern about the recent attacks and reaffirmed his administration's commitment to ensuring the safety of residents, stressing that the government will not tolerate informal aiding criminal activities. He also commended security agencies for their effort in maintaining relative peace in the state and urged residents to support ongoing security operations by providing timely and credible information to help prevent further attacks. The FCT Police Command has begun a strict enforcement drive against vehicles with unauthorized tinted glass, covered number plate and improper registration in the Federal Capital Territory. Briefing journalists in Abuja, Commissioner of Police Professor Ahmed Sanusi said the operation is designed to tackle crimes such as one-chance robberies, kidnappings and other offenses often committed using such vehicles to avoid identification. The CP disclosed that over 30 offending vehicles have already been impounded while their owners face prosecution. He further urged residents to cooperate with the police and report suspicious activities to enhance security across the FCT.
Ongoing enforcement, over 30 vehicles found to be operating with tinted glasses, covered or obscured number plates, and without proper registration have been impounded. The owners, operators of these vehicles will be charged to court in accordance with the laws of the Federation and the FCT Road Transport Regulations Act 2023.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has assured officers and personnel of the Nigerian Army of continued command support, clear policy direction and institutional backing to enhance operational effectiveness and combat capabilities. Lieutenant General Shaibu gave the assurance at the closing ceremony of the 2026 Combat Support Arms Training Week held in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, with senior officers, tactical commanders and operational leaders in attendance. Adbn correspondent David Song reports.
It's the conclusion of the 2026 Combat Support Arms Training Week, with focus on adaptability, resilience and innovation. The training, which had lectures, interactions, exhibitions and demonstrations, indicates the indispensable nature of combat support arms towards the effectiveness and success of the Nigerian Army. Speaking after the final lecture, Chief of Army Staff, represented by Chief of Special Services and Programs, Army, Major General Aminu Gaba, emphasized the need for participants to translate the knowledge gained during the training into practical actions.
The future of combat support will depend not only on platforms and equipment, but also on doctrine, training, integration, and the disciplined application of innovation to operational needs. In that regard, I am encouraged that this training week has not merely highlighted achievements, but has also given due attention to the practical gaps, constraints, and areas requiring improvement.
Speaking on behalf of the organizing committee, Commandant of the Nigerian Army Intelligence School, Brigadier General David Umaru, said the training would promote the disciplined application of innovation and technology in addressing operational challenges.
Sincerely thank our keynote speaker, Professor Okechukwu, as well as all presenters, discussants, moderators, and other resource persons who contributed to the lectures and lecture sessions during the week. Your insights, experience, and professional perspectives enriched the discourse and added value to the deliberations. We are deeply grateful to our retired senior officers. Your presence, counsel, and wide wealth of experience continue to add depth and perspective to the gathering of this nature.
In his remarks, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, represented by the Commissioner for Internal Security and Waterways, retired General Kukwesien, expressed confidence in the Nigerian Army's capacity to address the nation's security challenges and restore peace across affected communities.
And so we know that you are tackling all these challenges, whether it is on land or it is in the waterways, and we continue to stand with you, we continue to support you, and we know that in a short while we will get rid of these enemies. We believe in the Nigerian Army, and we know that you are doing everything necessary to deal with this. And so on this note, I would like to once again extend the appreciation of the government of Akwa Ibom State to the Nigerian Army for finding Akwa Ibom worthy of hosting this Combat Support Arms Training Week.
The week-long training featured technical and tactical sessions, combat demonstrations, static displays of military equipment, interactive engagement, and communique of the 2026 COSAT Week. David Isong, Adbn News.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has signed Executive Order number 002 of 2026 banning commercial motorcycle operations between 10:30 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. across the state as part of effort to strengthen security. The governor said the order would also enforce vehicle registration laws and improve traffic management, noting that unregistered vehicles, motorcycles and tricycles are often used in criminal activities. Makinde explained that the decision was informed by recent security challenges, including the abduction of teachers and pupils in Orire local government area, and urged residents to report suspicious activities through the state toll-free emergency line 615. He also commended security agencies and the Amotekun Corps for their ongoing effort to protect lives and property in Oyo State.
Signing of this executive order, we are also introducing additional measures to enhance security across our state. Consequently, the operations of commercial motorcycle operators, popularly known as Okada riders, will now be restricted between the hours of 10:30 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. throughout Oyo State. We can create laws and regulations, but their success ultimately depends on the cooperation of our people. Let me also use this opportunity to restate that we will not relent until our teachers and children are returned safely home.
In health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention (NCDC) has assured Nigerians that the country has the capacity to contain any Ebola outbreak should the disease find its way into the country. Addressing a press briefing in Lagos, the Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jide Idris, stated these, although the country's surveillance and response systems are not at peak readiness, but they remain sufficiently robust to detect and halt transmission at an early stage. Dr. Idris disclosed that the federal government has intensified surveillance and emergency preparedness measures across the country, with particular focus on international airport, border entry points, and other critical locations. He reassured Nigerians that health authorities are closely monitoring developments and remain committed to protecting public health through early detection, rapid response, and effective disease control measures. The Lagos Waste Management Authority, LAMA, has issued a precautionary advisory to hospitals, medical waste handlers, transporters and treatment operators across Lagos State following reports of Ebola virus disease outbreak in parts of East Africa. The agency said the move is aimed at strengthening preparedness and ensuring strict compliance with infection prevention and waste management protocols. LAMA's Managing Director, Dr. Muyiwa Badegbesin, clarified that there is currently no confirmed Ebola case in Lagos State or anywhere in Nigeria. He stressed that the advisory is strictly preventive and intended to ensure health facilities and waste operators remain vigilant in preventing possible disease spread. The agency directed healthcare institutions and waste handlers to enforce hygiene practices, proper use of protective equipment, safe handling of medical samples, and correct disposal of infectious wastes. The Anambra State government has commenced the issuance of demolition notices to more than 500 owners and occupiers of illegal, dilapidated and unsafe structures across Nnewi. This is part of Governor Chukwuma Soludo's ambitious urban renewal program aimed at transforming the commercial city. The issuance of demolition notices led by the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development is designed to restore order, improve infrastructure, and reposition Nnewi as a modern industrial and commercial hub. Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development Chijioke Oseloka Ujukwu said the affected structures include shanties erected beneath high-tension power lines, buildings constructed without approved setbacks, unauthorized developments, filling stations, hotels, and other structures considered hazardous to public safety. Watching Adbn News at 7, stay with us for more stories after the break.
Abuja is rising. The Federal Capital Territory is moving forward with purpose, progress, and renewed hope. Join the Federal Capital Territory Administration as we celebrate the commissioning of 27 landmark projects and the flag-off of 3 new ones under the visionary leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, by the Honorable Minister of the FCT, His Excellency Barrister Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike, CON, and Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, in commemoration of the 3rd anniversary of the administration of Mr. President, champion of the renewed hope agenda, and the commemoration of 50 years of the Federal Capital Territory. From June 9th to the 20th of July 2026, witness the commissioning of completed transformative projects designed to strengthen infrastructure and democratic institutions, improve livelihoods, and modernize Nigeria's capital city. Projects and landmark events include over 20 major roads, interchanges, and bridges covering more than 100 kilometers across the FCT, expanded water supply to satellite towns, the magnificent Court of Appeal Complex Abuja Division, new staff quarters of the Nigerian Law School Wari, ultra-modern office annex for the body of benchers, modern judges' quarters, remodeled Abuja City Gate, launch of the sales office and experience center of the Abuja City Work Development, and the unveiling of Abuja at 50 Compendium, celebrating the history, growth, achievements, and future vision of Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, and many more impactful people-oriented projects aimed at improving mobility, housing, justice delivery, public service, and the overall quality of life for residents. This is progress you can see. This is development you can feel. This is the renewed hope agenda in action. Come and be part of history as the President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, redefines development in the FCT. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, building infrastructure, preserving history, empowering communities, transforming lives.
Welcome back. Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has congratulated the founder and general superintendent of the Deeper Christian Life Ministry, William Kumuyi, on his 85th birthday, describing him as a devoted servant of God whose ministry has had a far-reaching spiritual impact for over 5 decades. Tinubu praised Kumuyi's influence through his teaching, writings, and the global crusade, with Kumuyi noting that his message has reached millions across Nigeria and beyond. He said the cleric's work has strengthened faith, inspired leaders, and positively shaped families and communities. Born in 1941 in Erin, Idesha, Osun State, Kumuyi founded the Deeper Life Bible Church, which grew from a university fellowship into a global ministry with presence in over 150 countries. In down to the foreign scene, the World Health Organization WHO says the Ebola outbreak in Central Africa has reached nearly 500 confirmed cases, with 471 infections and 84 deaths reported across the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. The figures represent a sharp increase of 100 cases and 20 deaths within 24 hours, raising concerns about the rapid spread of the disease. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the outbreak was officially declared on May 15, health authorities have confirmed 452 cases and 82 deaths, while Uganda recorded 19 cases and 2 deaths. Health experts warned that without strong intervention measures, the outbreak would become one of the largest Ebola epidemics in history. And in sports news, Jalen Brunson scored a decisive free throw with 9.5 seconds remaining as the New York Knicks edged the San Antonio Spurs 105-104 on Friday night to take a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. Karl Anthony Towns led the Knicks with 21 points and 13 rebounds, while Brunson and Michael Bridges contributed 20 points apiece. The victory extended New York's winning streak to 13 consecutive playoff games, the second longest run in NBA postseason history. The series now moves to Madison Square Garden, where Game 3 will be played on Monday night. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump, a New York native, is expected to attend the game as excitement continues to build around the Knicks to have their first NBA title since 1973. Well, that's it. Well, that's it on Adbn TV News. Remember to watch us live on DSTV channel 258 on StarTimes channel 140, Apple TV app, Limexwell TV app, and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website at www.adbntv.com. You can also watch us live from every part of the world by logging on to www.adbntv.com/live. I am Sifonode, thanking you for watching. Good night.